Radiant are scanning.
I could do with more of that. Oh my.
Dire's top
Even
tower is
I
under
like
attack.
a good ball.
Dire's top tower has fallen. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower has fallen. Radiant's top tower is under attack. To ban. Virtus Pros turn
positions that you're not getting, you need to fill in that gap. And I think BSJ is right that it's never been more key than in this meta. And the unusual thing is typically when you see players grow into that role, it is the veteran players. That's something that you learn how to do over time. And it's impressive to me that 33, he came out with the reputation built on an unorthodox hero pool, but he's actually matured so much in the last year. Or the end of last season.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I have to say, I loved him in PPD's teams, which has been the previous two teams that he's been in, because I think Peter helped him with that as well. It was good fit between the two. But also working with Zai last year, I remember that 3-4 was always kind of like a flexi
Absolutely.
between the two of them. So it showed that he's got that Dota brain, not just a good player mechanically, can play some crazy heroes, but he's got a good Dota brain as well.
I absolutely agree. I mean, and Zai is, by the way, at completely the other end of the spectrum. He's a guy that when he's not playing Dota, doesn't necessarily want to be thinking and talking about Dota. But it's just, is your personality type compatible with the rigors of this incredible season-long grind? Yeah. We all deal with it in different ways.
Don't put 33 in the same team as Anna.
Well,
because they both want to go off and play pubs.
Anna's
right?
just a mutant, all right?
They'll just want to take 9 months off with each other to play pubs. That's not going to work.
Anna is in a category by himself.
When people use like his reasoning, you could be a pro player just party queuing with your friends and shit.
Pre-match before a big Dota match at TI, I've never spent so long talking about everything other than Dota with a player other than Anna.
Yeah, I believe it. Oh, yeah. And everybody that talks about speaking with Anna around matches, they say the same thing. It's just, again, we respond to stress in different ways, and the most important thing is to know yourself.
Well, we're going to get to know Virtus Pro and Alliance in this
I love it.
game.
I love it.
Look
at the LC ban.
And I did wonder whether they would. I mean, you know, he was partially joking, but as you pointed out, he's played it 6 out of the 8 games so far, so they knew it. They knew it was going to be. This has left a lot on the table.
I tell you what, though, exactly. The LC ban, the Morphling and Winter Wyvern ban. Abaddon's on the table. Void is on the table. Absolutely. Wow, we're going to get to see a lot of the meta heroes coming into this tournament that have been overrepresented in the first phase bans. There's the Void. Yeah.
That was a fairly telegraphed pick from Alliance. I know that Solo would have understood that.
I really want to see, I don't think you have to pick it first phase, but one of the comfort heroes for Epikid is the Naga Siren. I really want to see the classic OG Naga counter to Void at some point in this draft.
Worked well yesterday.
I think you have to assume from VP's perspective that Alliance is going to potentially go Omni or Abaddon on the second pick. Just enables, it's like the way 33 has been playing this patch. It enables a hero like Void. It's so easy to play Void when you have these types of heroes behind you. And I personally, I've had viewers ask me, when is Void a bad pick? And I'm just like,
right now?
Yeah, right now, never. Like, there's never a game where I'm not willing to play Void.
I think, honestly, the best answer to that question we saw earlier in the tournament. Void is a bad pick when you can put an offlaner like Puck against him that has very high right-click harass potential so that you can't get value out of Time Walk in the laning phase. That's the only time that I've seen Voids get really, really pooped on in these games.
I agree. He is a momentum-based hero despite the fact that he is a late game monster, but if you give him this like mid game
VICI Gaming's turn to pick.
Is this maybe, could we see some sort of cheesy Abaddon Ogre lane where you just get the passive constantly and harass your opponent out?
It's possible. I think these two heroes could run you down and just right Q to that. Even if you're a morph and you start morphing, you have to just run away from these two.
10 seconds.
We'll see the way they lane. I think Ogre plus Bloodseeker is also good when it comes to the laning stage, as Ogre can protect the Bloodseeker.
You just harass like crazy, right?
Yeah, Bloodseeker has one issue, is he needs to have a good start so that he can dominate in the mid game. Doesn't get a good start, things can be a little bit difficult for him.
Nice. The other thing to highlight about the Bloodseeker here is we just mentioned the Shaker Morphling combo, and if there's anything that's going to ruin that shenanigans of jumping around the Enchant Tome, it's going to be some good old ruptures. So maybe the Seeker looks towards an Aghanims as the second or third item this game?
It's Yeah, it wouldn't be that bad. The item is definitely good on Bloodseeker, but maybe later on in the match, right? Because it depends what they last pick.
It depends on their timing, right?
On their timings and on their last pick, because you have to itemize accordingly to your gameplay, right? And if you get an Aghanim's, but your Bloodseeker is supposed to be the majority of your right-click damage, then it doesn't really pan out well for you.
Although then again, MV has been shown to do things differently. I recall he done the Aghanims as it was the second or third item, I think, on Void.
I remember Envy with Pipe Drow Rangers, Pipe Slark, you know, so...
Blink Dagger on every carry imaginable.
You never know what to expect.
Hey, after TNC's Gyro Blink Dagger Kaya, anything could happen today. And we actually get more of them later. But before that, we get the mysteries of MV. The Lich is going to come out, though. This is all-in Morphling draft so far from VICI.
10 seconds remaining.
VICI Gaming going with Lich plus Rubik as support duo. We don't see a lot of Lich. Here and there, a little bit, but not really picked way too often. Definitely... Lich plus Morphling used to be one of the dual lanes that was played a lot on mid lane, actually, not on safe lane. But that's back when Lich could eat creeps.
Yep.
You would basically just put Morphling plus Lich on mid. You would eat creeps, you would give the shield to Morph, and he would just dominate the living hell out of anyone that's playing against you.
And you'd have, like, what? You'd have Tiny Io maybe on the other side, or you'd have Queen of Pain, Undying.
Yeah.
That was the time of the dual lane mids. Good lord. Thank God we moved past that. Yeah, actually, yes. How do you feel about the nature of mid? Because it feels like it's in its own vacuum right now. It is the true 1v1, which I know Valve likes this idea, and I know a lot of people love this idea that we get to talk about Sumail or people like, or these people who are going to win those one-on-ones. But does it feel a little bit too disconnected from the rest of the map to you?
It depends on the player, I think. Do you remember yesterday the way Ori played? Just this kind of a player just wants to rotate a lot, just wants to be active, and 4 minute 8, suddenly he's connecting left, right, and center. Top lane, bottom lane, doesn't matter.
It's true. It kind of feels like a switch around where now it's on use the mid to rotate if your lane goes wrong, as opposed to the supports fixing your lane. And we will see a ban on the Lina. Just make sure Ari doesn't get that. Instead, he gets a Shadow Fiend. Now, this is a hero. I feel like every time we see this, we get this mixed feelings, right? Because usually it does well in the lane. There's opportunities to outplay. Does it feel like once you end the lane, there's a question mark on what you do next?
Question mark on what your itemization is, and question mark on what the plan around SF is. If you remember 7-8 months ago when Shadow Fiend was top pick of the meta, it's because they had a really good idea about what they're supposed to do around him. He buys that fast mech with Greaves, and then you just start pushing, right? Shadow Fiend right now is in a position in which you can't really know for sure which item build he's going to go for. Is it utility? Is it some use that we saw yesterday? Is it some right-click damage? Like, his right-click damage and pick-off potential, they're still there, but they're not as strong like they used to be, right?
Yeah. You could get pummeled if you build a Yules in this game as well, right? It's free setup for Leshrac, so you can never use it defensively, lose half your value.
Utility is probably the best, I think, for this game, because they'll have to create space for this Morphling to get his Aghanims, and perhaps they can play as 4 until that happens. By the way, okay, TA is definitely a hero that can deal pretty well with Shadow Fiend, but yesterday we saw actually the same matchup and SF1.
That was GPK, right? He ran over his opponent, although Gambit did lose that game due to the other lanes. And we have got a very skilled mid here.
That set on SF looks so sick.
What?
That looks
The
so
gold
sick.
trims, it black and gold, okay?
I love it.
It just makes you look so pimpin'. All the MMORPG players out there, whenever they got their own guild and they started to make their own brand, everyone's done the gold and black at some point. It's the easiest to get right. Although at the same time, Rubik has got that hat. All right, now we are Valve fanboys. You gotta love them hats. But we have got the Mercedes MVP clip to play before we get too much into to the cosmetics. Maybe you're a fan of MVP votes based on the cosmetics. Who knows? But you need the info first.
Vote now.
Vote now for MVP! Oh no. Why is it getting stuck?
What's up?
Fucking
Cables?
cable is stuck.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but it's stuck under the back wheel, so I can't even get it out either.
I know.
I know.
These cables get...
And there we go. You got your info, and we've got our game ready to get underway. I don't know. I wouldn't give the cosmetic MVP to Lishrak. I mean, that's just anyone who's bought a compendium, right?
Yeah, just some hordes on him. Rubik does definitely have a good hat.
He is big pimpin'. And the gold star as well.
That's the set. It looks sick. It looks sick. What this FB's lineup definitely does have a lot of potential. Have Brawl on the mid lane with TA. We'll see if SF starts with raises. Yeah, he started with raises. It's usually something that you... the TA, Lash, Snaking, Abaddon, and Ogre are going to top lane.
Yeah, just probe for that first kill. It's okay to do this right at the start. Just don't commit too hard to the tri lanes. Usually you see the other way around, where if you are going to go tri lane, it's not around your off laner at the moment.
On Meander, he started with a really aggressive build. You have the Orb of Venom and the Stout Shield. Probably the passive is the next thing that he's going to take, and then you just run after the Morphling or whoever is close enough. I remember the good old days as well. I mean, it's the same days now. You just buy Orb of Venom on Abaddon and you run someone down. Axe literally can't stand an Abaddon right now. If you have these two heroes, one support plus Abba chasing you down with Orb of Venom, such a difficult thing to deal with.
People do it a lot with the Legion as well. Even easier hero. Just any hero that has a lot of movement speed, right, is the big key. And Abaddon plus Legion amongst what? I want to say top 10 in terms of movement speed now, easily. Meanwhile, bot lane, UAC, VICI, they do aggress on the runes a little bit. Bloodseeker will dodge it as well.
Meander taking top bounty rune, Snaking taking the other, so casual 2 for 2. We'll see a tri-lane right now, at least happening from VICI Gaming on the bottom lane. I think this is right from them, but most likely someone will have to go and help out the Morphling. That's Lich.
Yeah, there's arguments that actually both these lanes are volatile for first blood, right? And Morphling low level can get caught out, but at the same time, you're a Bloodseeker against a Shaker. If he does get around the side, maybe he punishes you, but because it is a core Shaker, it's unlikely he's going to move out the lane for the fishes. Things will just settle down to 2-1-2s. No kill opportunity just yet. Snaking will whip the first splitter for the game. It's okay, it's just recalibrating them.
Lich has 3 mangoes, 5 tangos, a lot of regen on him, so he's able to spam out his nukes and also stay relatively healthy.
Stun.
Morphling, however,
they don't want to die for it. They haven't got the creep wave there. In the mid lane, in the meantime, we will see Ori start the raise. It just seems to be the go-to for Shadow Fiends now. They've forgotten what this passive is until level 2.
it's safer to start with raises, get your level 2, than it is to start with your passive, especially versus a TA. She loves that level.
You could have gone for the cheese combo, the clockwork, right? But they were actually the ones who banned it out in the first phase, if you remember. So not a possibility. Instead, they'll be going for the core Shaker. I just always love to see it, though. The real question is, do we get a greedy Shaker this game? Do you look at the timings on average for these heroes? Do you think he could get away with rushing an Ags, or is this definitely a Blink type game first?
Well, we'll see. He's going Tranquil Soul Ring. Usually that's indicative of a Blink. When you're going for Ags, you want... Not always, it's not necessary, but getting power treads is really good if you're going for Ags, because you're so tanky in the mid game. You can just...
you just bulk up and run at people.
You just bulk up. You don't have to go for... you don't have to even go for Soul Ring. You go for Magic Wand, and that's about it.
That's definitely true. And usually, you know, that's kind of the thing, is if you are seeing the Shaker go for that, it's really hard to punish him because he's got so much stats and strength.
Then again, a really nice thing that Tranquils bring you is a lot of regen all the time. And when you're fighting against the Bloodseeker, when you're playing against the Bloodseeker, that regen can come in handy to just stop him from getting those thirst stacks.
Things actually chilled out. No first blood just yet, and these lanes are, all in all, fairly even. I'd say Eurus is trailing behind a little bit. The Shaker, you expect him to be a few behind the Bloodseeker like this, especially with the Ogre harassing them out. Maybe the biggest surprise, how much pressure is on the Morphling, and actually the stun connects. He might be in a bit of trouble. Frost Armor should protect, but they're going to keep hitting. With the Diabolic Edict only being shared behind them, between them and not the creeps, Eurus barely gets out alive.
Barely gets out alive, but also he's giving a lot of attack speed to the Bloodseeker on the bottom lane, who has that Thirst level 2 now. Actually interesting that he went for Thirst level 2 instead of Blood Ride, but it's a bit more mana on level 2, so...
He's still got a lot of regen, right? you know, your 4 tangos, you don't feel like you're in a rush to get Blood Rage, and if you know your other lanes are going to be aggressive, you get
Blood
the
Rage.
burst.
Blood Rage, that's what I was expecting.
Yeah, the
Blood
Blood
Rage, you don't even get on level.
I think you get 1 point by 6, right? Just because eventually you will run out of tangos.
Yeah, yeah.
But I was going to say, I guess it's because they know so much pressure in the top lane, right? You get more value out of that passive, arguably. Especially if you don't think Aoi is going to be able to hold them in place long enough.
King is being chased by DY, and there we go. That's the first blood.
Nicely done by DY.
Yeah,
He is all out of regen now, though. No mangoes left.
That's not really a kill that you expect to see happening, Lich killing a Leshrac in the laning stage, but DY, man, he had so many mangoes and so many tangos to work with. None remaining, though.
You're just being pressured again. Moonmeander's getting more or less everything he wants in this lane. It is a little bit of an awkward moment when DY gets that kill, but it was far away from the lane, right? So there was no benefits to the Morphling in it.
Morphling is still being pressured. 11 CS, 19 on Abaddon. Definitely.
But Brow got a haste rune. He's going to come in. Blood Right will silence on the 1, and they could move across to Zhao Yu, but Rubik is wasting a lot of their time. Well done by him.
Bryle is actually not winning this mid lane. Ori is doing quite well. So that one extra rotation to give him some extra gold could come in handy.
It's what we talked about, right? Like, we usually saw Ori doing this yesterday. TA, not really a hero renowned for doing that too often, but if you do get that haste rune, it opens up any door possible. I think for Pandas, as you shift out of this lane phase over the next 5 minutes, you're probably focusing around the Abaddon, trying to rotate top as soon as possible to take that tower, right? Especially when you consider the Leshrac is in this lane.
Oh, look at that. Morphling is just suffering so much on the lane. Does have 16 CS, still finding his farm. And they're on a timer. If you are fighting Panda S, you're definitely on a timer. In your mind, you're just imagining that Morphling with Aghanim's jumping on you. So.
But for the moment, they're content. They know that they actually spike sooner, right? This is the power of the TA. You get your Deso, your Blink, and you're basically ready to do anything, whether it's Roche or high ground. And Bloodseeker definitely fits in those timings.
Definitely. Same goes for Bloodseeker. Bloodseeker just comes into play much earlier. Shaker comes into play there with the Ogre.
And Envy just has to walk away. This is kind of the crux of the Bloodseekers. While the Ogre is tanky, the Blood doesn't have any way to defend him.
You click on Envy, he already has his mind set on which items he needs. Bassi, Hood, Radiance.
This could link up pretty well the timing, right? Because by the time you have a Radiance, arguably TA should have Deso plus Blink. Now they're going to look for a kill to Zhao Yu. Chasing him down with Silence out. Envy might better get this, but there's a lift coming off cooldown right now. And PYW, no. They could have dragged him under tower, right, and stunned him.
Yeah, it was an option, definitely, but they decide not to. Also, the only reason, well, one of the reasons why Shaker survives there is Rubik with the Fade Bolt. He Fade Bolts the Bloodseeker, and Bloodseeker loses so much damage that he just couldn't do enough to the Earthshaker.
Now Rubik is waiting around the mid lane.
Top lane, Moon.
Because they've gone up there with the rotation. They get rid of Moon Meander, and Ori will get back to mid in time. PYW the lift, Dragon one back, but Bra has a trap down to try and protect himself, so they'll turn around and just keep farming. However, I'm getting a little bit scared here, Liz. 52-16, and he's just got himself a kill on Moon, who we just said was doing so well in his lane. Ori's out of control.
Yeah, Shadowfiend. Ori is out of control almost every single game we watched.
This is true.
This guy just does not fail in the laning stage at least. Wins his lanes, and even after winning the lane, he goes and rotates and gets a couple of kills, and his rotations are on point too. I'm just looking forward to seeing what items he's going to get.
Zhao Yu, save again from PYW. The Fissure blocks them in, actually. So they'll have to go deeper. The stun's going to come out. They'll look onto Zhao Yu, but he's got the double stun coming out. And now they can't catch him. They're in trouble. PYW can just casually right-click them down. He's got the Fade Bolt coming off cooldown, and Envy needs to run for the high hills. And Zhao Yu should be safe here. Aoi, however, goes in. Okay, that was greedy from Zhao Yu. And now Aoi, he might die for it. Nope, got the stick.
One more hit.
PYW, he needs two. Now he needs another. Now he needs another. Oh no, he gets it. Okay, he's 2 HP out of living there.
I mean, he has Windlace and Boots there on Rubik, and he just gets him. But Bloodseeker, most importantly, does get away, and he manages to find a way through the creep wave and goes around the tower.
After baiting himself in a little bit hard. He has got 1,000 gold on him as well. He just picked up the Bassi. He can get the extra mag resistance in the cloak, and then I would expect him to start diving even harder in this lane, right? Especially 3-6.
Yeah, Lich was about to port mid to try and defend it a little bit, but couldn't really, as Leshrac just takes it with Diabolic Edict level 3, plus the TA.
We were just saying that there's a concern of Ori getting out of control, but look at Braul's net worth and the fact he got the tower pre-10 minutes.
Yeah, Brawl is doing pretty well. He did, like, his laning stage wasn't stellar versus SF. It's not, he didn't want it CS-wise, but he also made a couple of rotations, and those rotations did work for him. So right now he's sitting on 1,000 gold, together what he's got, and moving towards Desolator.
Now, SF isn't happy with the nature of things. Yes, he has a net worth lead, but he wants a few more kills. The problem is he was spotted out by the Obs. Does get the G-ward at least. Might actually still go back in.
It's all about pressuring Bloodseeker and this tier 1 on the bottom lane. They do it, let's see.
He's going to try. Oh, no, the fissure. Wrong side. Lift him back. Echo slammed to make sure he can't throw out the blood right, and now he can't save it.
Yeah, usually that fissure isn't great because he's on the other side, but when you have Rubik, he just lifts you, tosses you on the right one, and you die. Envy does fall there in the end, or he makes another good rotation.
So what you're saying is you pick the Rubik if you don't trust the Shaker. Because you can always fix what you did wrong.
Yeah, however, Moon is doing really well on the top lane. He already took down that tier 1. Mid tier 1 is also dead. And
DY is dead. One more hit needed. Brawl.
Trap.
Got the trap, but he doesn't need it.
Yeah, he could have done it with trap as well, but why do it with
top?
Right click?
They're just right-clicking Eurus down. He does have the waveform, so he'll be able to get away, but Morphling is still struggling to find a game. He's got decent net worth, but they are not letting up on this pressure. And you can already see the response, right? They have to TP these heroes here. Heroes that you want to be on that Bloodseeker you just talked about are having to respond to the aggression on your Morphling instead.
Yeah, because if you look at the map, they have taken no objectives so far. VICI Gaming, they have this one ward behind the tier 1 on the bottom lane, which is indicative of the fact that they want to go for the tier 1, but they haven't been successful at it so far. And
instead, they're going for you. Zhao Yu, ruptured up, blood right, sidesteps it, chain cross. Zhao will sidestep that as well so it doesn't bounce. But Zhao Yu just trying to buy some time. Definite inevitability right now, as they will bring him down and move away before PYW can do anything about it. Good rotation.
What, Blood Rage?
Yes.
Yeah, not what he wanted, but can help out. Maybe you can put it on SF. He farms a bit faster.
That's actually something else we have to look forward to with Pandas draft, right? Blood Rage plus Bloodlust on a TA.
Yeah, this TA is going to be buffed up. Braille will hit hard. He's not there yet, though. He's building towards Desolator, and Desolator usually just allows you to farm a bit more, a bit faster to get that Blink Dagger. If you get Blink Dagger, you're kind of forced to get pickoffs to farm, to fight actually, and to find pickoffs.
You can farm heroes. It counts.
Counts.
In this type of game, though, once you have the Blood Rage plus the Bloodlust, and you have a Deso, you're probably straight into a Rosh Pit, without a doubt. Scary game. Meanwhile, Ori gets killed in the bot lane.
They're trying to pressure Envy out of this lane, and they're trying to take this tier 1, because this is your first step in taking Radiant map control if you are Dire. You need to take down the tier 1 so that you can invade further. But yeah, this tower is very healthy.
Yeah, you're 12 minutes in, you've barely put any damage, even a dent into any of these towers. Now with Moon Meander showing up, it's going to be hard.
Yeah, Moon, I think he has full Vlads completed. He just needs the courier.
He has a full stash right now. There's probably things leaking onto the ground at this rate. They're just buying time perfectly. There's not too many stacks for Brawl, though. That's the one thing maybe Pandas could work on here. Just accelerate further.
They're not making too many stacks, but they're taking objectives. Look at top. Tier 2 has fallen as well. Tier 1 and Tier 2. On mid lane, Tier 1 as well. So he's getting a lot of gold out of that.
And now, where is Moon Meander of all places? The bot lane, where there's even more towers that need taking.
Yeah, he's just mirroring the movements of VICI Gaming. If they want to put aggression somewhere, he just goes, and they can't take him down. So they smoke away, and they go towards mid.
VICI are wrapping around looking to get aggressive. Once again, focused on MV, but he knows something is not right. His anime senses are tingling, so he dodges the smoke gank.
That's a good dodge.
Top though. There's trouble. Eurus waveform. Can they get the hit? No, nope. They looked for the vision for the stun for Aoi, but they put the trap in the wrong place.
Force towards the bottom lane where that smoke might connect actually on Moon Meander. Again.
There's still a tier 1 tower here though, so you have to catch him away and burst him down fast.
He's very tanky, and he has a point for ult, I believe.
Yep, there it is. Be able to heal up. He steals the Aphotic Shield, drags Moon back, but he's looking healthy. They're still going to chase her because they did have the Stolen Rupture. So they'll be forced to fight. The Yule's going to be there. Ori, we'll just go for the pop and we'll get the kill. They didn't even try and protect him.
Because they're taking the dire jungle. You see, like, Bryle, he wasn't even thinking about porting. Same goes for everyone else. Moon, he's just creating space.
They're thinking about killing though. Xiao Yu? Okay.
It's a bit difficult. He has Fissure to work with, and you don't have a blink on Bryle, so you can't really get him there. Unless he just steps out of position.
But this is Roche, because you mentioned that tier 1, but they're so fixated on the side of VICI. They're 14 minutes in, and you might be able to take that. But look who's already in the pit.
Yeah, TA has that Desolator, and she can go straight in. For VICI Gaming, you don't have the items that are necessary for you to fight. You don't have that Blink on Shaker. Morphling doesn't have, what's he building? Lincolns doesn't have that. Like, these small first items that you need to get on the side of VICI Gaming are just not there yet. Shaker is, SF is the only one with Yules completed.
Does it feel like this game is, for the next 10 minutes, it's on Shaker's shoulders, right? Because we talk about how SF can feel weird, the items don't always click, and you've got a Morphling going for a Lincolns, right? It just feels like if you don't get godly Echo Slams, because in the next 5 minutes, I think Pandas could be on your high ground, right? You're in this game.
Shaker.
And here's the man himself, the man who needs to get godly Echo Slams, can't even get his Blink Dagger.
Yeah, they're definitely slowing him down. A little bit earlier, when he was farming on the top lane, they move him, they force him away from the creeps and away from his farm, and now they kill him too. It's a really important target that they have just taken down. And he was playing in a really difficult position, because if you look at the boards from VICI Gaming, there's one mid, there's one around their triangle, and one in the Radiant jungle, so they don't really have vision on their own side of the map, and Shaker was exactly there.
No, it feels like Pandas are doing a great job of manipulating this kind of focus right now for teams around the bot lane. And now they're focusing on Moon Meander. They're going to drag him in as the borrowed time ends, and the lift is there to ensure he can't protect himself. Reinforcements were not there quick enough.
They got him once again.
However, there is a wraparound. Bryle's moving in. He doesn't have his Blink Dagger though. It's in his stash, so they will be able to get out. No price paid for their aggression.
They just TP away.
Smoke won't connect, but there's 2 towers down here at least, so you can start to push this in. And Bryle, he still doesn't have the blink coming out. A little bit of miscommunication with the courier by the looks of it, as Aoi's got it coming out.
Yeah, I think you send that courier back. That's just Aoi messing up a little bit. Maybe Bryle didn't put it fast enough.
No. You know, he's a nice guy. He's like, I don't want to be rude, Aoi, okay? You get what you need, my friend. I know how hard it is to be a +5. One game, one pub game, I had to do it. It was a nightmare.
They had full vision on them moving in. So VICI Gaming, if they want to set up a defense, they can.
Aphotic Shield. Marshall's going to protect him. Lift's going to come out, drags him in. Love off the mark. Shadow Feet down to RPG. Echo Slam, jump in, gets 2. Nice Requiem follow-up. Blows them up straight away. TA dead for 40 seconds. And to think you gave Envy the Aegis, and yet you initiate with Bryle.
Bryle also didn't have Blink Dagger there, so he was just walking in, right? This Blink Dagger from him just got picked up as he was shortly sent towards the fountain. But it's Earthshaker that perfectly read what they were going to do, and he initiates with that, re-initiates with that echo. But they had a good ward. They had a ward around their triangle, around their shrine, and they saw flying FightingPandas just moving in.
So they need some game fuel. Wake up like I just did. Ori, for a kill, snaking, moving away. PYW chases with another steal. Now he's in trouble though. He should have kept that one and just ran even deeper, because now it makes no difference. He is dead. Ori gets out alive. He is going for the BKB next. He's getting close. I mean, what, Envy? He's cooled out. He's waiting for Eurus. They need some way of stopping him right now. Snaking's going to be too late, though.
A little bit too late. One of the reasons why we saw Bloodseekers pick up Yules long time ago is because of situations such as this one, and because it allows you to set up Blood right. However, you don't really see that item any longer on Bloodseekers. In this particular game, like, he can afford himself to be more of a T-kind or this second carry.
Just get a basher, let's be honest.
Exactly, TA can bring the majority of the damage.
So you should be the control. And we already mentioned, you know, Blood Rage is nice on Bloodseeker. It is kind of his own spell, but if it's between him and a hero that doesn't have to worry about the increased damage to yourself for several charges, I think TA wins on priority. Definitely around that one, Liz. We'll see if MV can actually start to pressure onto this tier 2 in the mid. This time he should be frontline and not Brawl. Instead, he's moving with the supports towards bot. They want to kill off Eurus. He doesn't have the Lincolns complete yet.
They definitely do have the damage necessary. Do they have the control? That's only the question. As they
Not when they split up like this.
This is the thing. Oh, he doesn't have TP yet, though.
4 seconds. Brawl. Yep, they ping it out. The smoke just broke. They know exactly where he is, or roughly.
If he connects, they will know.
They should know right now. It was just doing it, but they didn't have vision. They actually have to go fight. Look at this right now. Shaker, there we go with the Aegis. Now the Requiem follow-up. Envy down to half HP. Lift the control in. The Blood Right might protect him, but the Fade Bolt nicely positioned by PYW. The BKB means you can't stun up Ori. And as it will run out, he'll move away. Buyback from Envy, though. They still want to fight. Brawl, don't feel too compelled to go in too quickly here, my friend.
Man, if you are fighting PandaS right now, you must be so mad. Like, Morphling just made them go on a wild goose chase.
And TP to basically the same spot after the fight is done. After Envy commits a buyback in the scenario, I'm not even sure there was a turnaround opportunity.
Dies, loses Aegis, dies again, then buybacks. That's like
that's a man who doesn't want to die. Or stay dead, at least.
Worst scenario for them.
Oh, they tried to tickle Brawl there, a little bit off the mark, though. And now he'll just hide because no one buys sentries in games.
And there's bounty rune spawning, so he expects them to be around this area.
Envy throws out the Rupture and does give over the Blood Rage. Brawl moves in though, the side blade through. Echo Slam on a 2, the Chain Frost follow-up as well. Envy gets baited in and drags Brawl with him. Brawl will live for the moment, but will he stay that way? It looks like he'll be able to back away. The Chain Frost did not bounce favorably in the end, but Envy gets caught out, and that's the dieback.
That's the dieback indeed, and if you're this Bloodseeker, you aren't feeling good at the moment. You're going towards that Radiance build, but I think it's too late. You see him switching up for the BKB. At least that BKB will allow him to stay alive long enough in these upcoming team fights, but things are not looking good for him as his net worth has just severely dipped.
No, it's just they're neglecting to address the Shaker in this draft so far. And honestly, it almost feels like they're too fixated on the Morphling right now, right?
I don't know what exactly they were thinking about in that exact fight. TA Brawl, he was positioned well behind the enemy lines to backstab them, right? However, they didn't know where the Shaker is. Maybe they expected VICI Gaming to be more focused on the bottom 2 bounty runes, but that wasn't the case, and they should respect the Shaker a little bit more, as that Echo is perfect counter-initiation, and he has demonstrated that twice now.
Exactly, twice on the Brawl especially, and his net worth is starting to suffer a little bit because of it. Shadow Fiend has the top spot, and he's building the AC next. He will be a force to be reckoned with at this rate very, very soon. And you have got to consider that Europe's already halfway towards the Ags. Has the Lincolns to protect him. Soon he's going to be shaken in and out of these fights.
That's a big problem. Unless he uses that Aghanims to morph into Shaker, gets ruptured, and then he
kills
himself. Most likely we will not see situations such as that.
We will see a smoke though. VICI are moving into their jungle. Want to reclaim the area, and it's going to be a quick exit for Pandas. Owie, however, what are you doing here, buddy? Wrong neighborhood. Vicious stuns him up, raises, and the final right click with Raze comes out to get Ori the kill.
Hey, you white. Owie. He falls, but Brawl gets away.
Owie gets an Owie is the story of the game. You're a POS 5. This is how it works. Brawl is getting close to
POS 5, man. Always.
You've been there. You understand the pain. Support. It's kind of support brethrens, right? It's like a mid can respect the farming need of a carry. Support. They both understand that it's a necessity to die sometimes.
Sometimes you just fall. Sometimes you take one for the team, and
sometimes you set up a strike here. Snaking, the scans come out. Eurus thinks he's safe here, but this is good patience from Snaking.
Well, he does have that Lincolns to work with. They do have AoE stuns, but it's difficult to actually hit that stun on the Morphling. So
He backs away though. His team isn't prepped for that play. They'll just give up the tower.
It's good that he backed out, as there's obviously a lot of dire heroes circling around Morphling too.
Yeah, they're starting to reach that point in the game where it's the Morphling show, right? We're going to just play around him, start to push his 5. It wouldn't be long before VICI start eyeing up Roche. I mean, it's been up for a little bit now, and
Morphling,
Pandas are hesitant to go in. Oh, however, in the top lane, they're going in on Mumianda. VICI blocks off his escape. He'll turn around and start fighting. He needs reinforcements, but his team just isn't there. Lift control from PYW will ensure he can't get the silence procs going, and he'll just calm down and back off.
Into the pit they go though.
It's definitely the right move. They do this so fast. Like, this is the biggest strength for their draft right now.
Bryle with that Desolator, with Blood Rage, with Bloodlust, definitely is easy for him to take down Roshan like this. And if you are VICI Gaming, you aren't ready yet, because your Morphling is 400 gold away from the point booster, which will complete his Aghanims. And because of that, they aren't really... They're fine with giving that Roshan away. You're not super happy about it, however, because that is the cheese too. Aegis cheese, it makes the next team fight much more difficult for VICI Gaming.
And the nature of the item choices will make it much more difficult, because this time around, they've given the Aegis to Brau, the man who will be jumping in first. Envy has admitted, okay, this time I'll just take the cheese. I know you're going to be the first one in. In the mid lane, first in is Moon Meander. Not willingly for the moment, but you can't prioritize too much of your resources on killing the Abaddon. However, if you jump in, there it is. Eurus goes for the kill onto Aoi. He can't move away quick enough. We'll go down to the waveform now. Since gains control of Mumiana, down to half HP, has to pop the ultimate, but the Yule's going to waste a lot of his borrowed time. And you are running on borrowed time here. As he's going to be followed up with the raise. The lift is there. Echo Slam. Jiaoyu catches 2. TA jumps straight into the mess. Didn't even get a chance to BKB. Aegis already gone. Aoi will buy back, but Envy's only just arriving in the fight. BKB. Brawl trying to fire up against him. Has to blink away though. Rupture comes out to Eurus, so Envy now needs to run away from this, but they're going to keep on chasing. The stun follow-up is good. Envy is dead. PYW on the hunt can't find the final kill as Brawl retreats to the south.
Man, it's just the story of these Aghanim Scepters on some heroes. In this particular team fight, Eurus, he just destroys them. Jumps in, takes care of AUI in a matter of seconds. Like, that Ogre is supposed to be tanky, but not when you have an Aghanim Morphling that morphs into Earthshaker, uses Enchant Totem and just blows you up. The way they set up that fight was really good too, because Eurus, he was able to jump in and out and just kite them a little bit, force them to go on high ground. And then TA...
And they're still going for more bot. Brawl, he gets found out, can't even get a kill. Actually does get DY with the final touch.
That's something, but are you satisfied if you are Brawl?
Hell no.
Hell no. Like, you don't want to die for a Lich. That's not what you came for.
So far, the story of what Pandas came for is a pummeling from the Shake. I mean, that's the third time he's gotten these ridiculously good Echo Slams. The patience as well, because he caught Brawl pitch perfect as he jumped in for the double Echo.
There's a double damage on Morphling and Flash.
And another death on Snaking. It's getting a bit tough now. 5k net worth lead for VICI. That Aegis, I mean, at least he's got the cheese on Envy, but that wasn't the impact you're expecting to get out of a second Aegis on a TA.
I think Envy just had a rough mid-game. Like, the laning stage wasn't that bad. They zoned him out after a bit when SF rotated in, but he died a bit too many times afterwards. Every single time, I believe, Earthshaker was involved with those echoes or fissure blocks. Ori, that's fine, Envy.
Yes.
Envy might die.
No, BKB, Requiem, and Envy, he has to eat the cheese. He won't die, but that feels like a death.
Yeah.
His team's coming in right now, actually. They're seeing if there's going to be a response coming out to try and protect Envy, who's still in the tree line right now. Eurus jumps in on the hunt.
Envy?
Envy's trapped here. There's no escape unless they look the wrong way. They saw him. Ori's running back in. Chain Frost on the side though. They're controlled up since gate. Echo Slam. Xiaoyu again. The jumping forward from Eurus to stun control is good. Best Rat getting low. Snaking, trying to heal up the shrines. Going to stay alive for the moment though, because he's so tanky. He doesn't have the damage on the Morphling. The follow up is good. Shake it down. Now Eurus down to half HP already. Stunned up, will fall before he can switch back to his original self. And Pandas hold. And they might find more. SF trying to TP out, will just about make it.
At least he makes it, but a really good hold by FightingPandas. Like, a really good fight for them.
And it exposed a potential weakness in VICI's draft, right? We talked about this Morphling and how he'll do all the damage later on. But you know what we saw there, Liz? We saw a full-strength Morphling. We saw no damage follow-up.
Also, the fact is Shadowfiend was chasing Envy instead of fighting there, and also Shadowfiend had no BKB as he used the BKB and his ulti earlier, so a lot of your damage was missing.
Oh, Snake. Well, we know which possible is having a better game this time around. PYW, Blink Dagger, A for Lens, solo killing his counterpart in this game. Still on the top of the world.
Feels much better. He's level 18 too.
Ari.
Towards Jules.
Ari has no TP. He has the haste. They're wrapping around. If they hit him with the Rupture, he's in trouble here. Follow-up damage is going to be good. BKB, Ari has to keep on running, but they can just finish him off easily.
Jules to buy himself some more time.
Not enough, though. An unusual mistake from Ori. I mean, he had no TP. This was no news to him. And yet he shows so deep on the map and gets punished for it.
You aren't too worried when you have haste and BKB, right? Even if your TP is on cooldown. So he was thinking he'll be able to just juke them and run away, but that Rupture made it impossible.
No, we said Envy's had a rough mid-game, but he's still in this game, and you have to respect the Rupture. After all, if there was one thing we said about these drafts when we came out of it, is that VICI Gaming's Achilles heel is the Rupture. The question is, if you're Envy right now, are you considering Ags at this stage, realizing you're not the damage anymore and that's not your role?
I think you can. Like, you actually can consider items such as that one. But when it comes to fighting Panda S, I think the most important item is this Orchid that's just been picked up by TA, as it will allow you to perhaps take down the Morphling a few times before he gets that Manta. But you need to fight right now. This is your power spike, and that's why they are smoking up towards the top lane.
Back on the push, Moon's like, I haven't had this feeling for a while. Time to club some buildings, and with the Leshrac, that's going to draw some attention. The Shaker does have the Echo Slam, and they're already getting flashbacks to the last few fights. So they might feel falsely emboldened by the most recent one, where the Echo Slam just wasn't enough.
Force them away. Meanwhile, they are taking the tier 2 on the bottom lane. Morphling.
Moon. Baden, a little bit far forward here. Pretty tanky though. Bodic Shield walks it off, has got the borrowed time, and it will go pop. But Ori's still hunting. Do not go up in his high ground though. This is risky. They're jumping in right now. Eurus, they're going to heal him up to full as a result. Moon Meander can back off. Now, jump in. Ori, BKB, split up, won't be good enough. Use the return. Howie, Echo Slam, only connects on the one. Bannon is low. They're going to follow up, jumping in with Eurus. Will be able to bring down one, or Willie. And Bodic Shield keeps him up. Still going to be Rupture go down. Snaking on the side, looking for the stun, but it gets juked out. Bloodright doesn't clip on anyone. Zhao Yu on the high ground. Snaking will look to TP away, but on the other side, a big target found. Bryle down for 85 seconds. And on the other side, no, hanging around still. They did manage to get him out. Snaking looked like he escaped, but hangs around too long, and he'll be the final fatality for the side of Panda S.
Even they held the high ground there. Moon Meander was a bit too far out, and he is so important. He's crucial to their team fighting strengths. However, he loses his ulti on the mid lane, right? He was too far. And then they just kill him off. If there's no Moon, it's very easy to take down everyone else. There is no shield, there is no utility, there's no heals coming from Mist Coil, there's no Solar Crest and Pipe. So a really good start of the fight for VICI Gaming that allowed them to wipe all 4 of them out of the game.
And now look at how quickly they're able to read this base. Morphling's like, this is the time I can be full agi. This is the time your buildings die. They actually might go for a second. Yeah, they're moving to the second lane. They're like 30 seconds without Brow. Gonna try and force that buyback. Lift, Owie, dragged back. Just the tip tickles. Now the follow-up. Eurus switches over. Waypoint through. BKB. Envy. He goes too deep. Morphling. Sucked up. He's dead. He's going to go down. 80 seconds dead. They need to get everyone else out alive. Envy with Bloodright to zone the rest away. Rubik goes ever deeper and TP's out safely. Can they get the rest out? It looks like they just about will. R8TP. PY, however, has no TP.
No TP.
And no life.
Nothing like that. He just falls.
But when he comes back, he now has a gem. He did buy it.
Yep. Overall, this Orchid is what we mentioned before, and it came so perfectly on time versus the Morphling. You Orchid him, you Rupture him, and he's just gone. He wants to jump in with that Shaker, but if you break the Linken's Orchid him after, he cannot get out. And that was really well played by Ryle and the boys. realizing what they were supposed to do in that situation. And now they have 30 seconds to take down Roche before Morphling is up.
With a refresher shot. The buyback comes out from Lich. Morph does not want to have to buy back. They'll have to. It does. It's going to be too late, though, is the thing. They still the Echo Slam, so they have to respect this. Lift has lasted a long time. Ori is pretty deep. Does have BKB. Echo, no, Xiao Yu! Jumps in, free-man Echo, full-on vision. Is making an X on the map, and it's an X that marks the spot where the Pandas will die. Moon Meander dragged in. Borrowed time has ran out. Brawl turns around. Ori down to half HP already. Eurus trying to control the fight, but Brawl, he's the one with all the damage. The Rupture coming out onto one, and now Eurus trying to escape. Silence up as well. He will go down. Morphling, that's going to be the dieback. That's the win condition for them now. Pandas, they can roll over the fight. Lich going to go down. Requiem on the high ground. Bloodseeker controlled up, but it doesn't matter if Envy dies anymore, because the real man in control is Prowl. Chasing in, looking for more. Refraction back up. Sideblades through. PYW, one more hit. So Ori going for the TP out. It's Bowl. Oh, just in time. Meld. Just a millisecond too late to get the kill. They minimize casualties, but they're still 90 seconds without a Morphling.
They minimized their casualties, definitely, but they lost the Morphling, like you just said. He died back, and that's Roche too. Brawl instantly goes into the pit, takes the Aegis Cheese, Refresher Shard is there too for him.
Everything and anything you want, Brawl, because you are the win condition. And a DD to boot. It's time to hit the mid lane, boys.
You can't fight any... You know what the problem is, though? VICI Gaming, they realize that Brawl has Orchid, but they still force these fights. They forced the fights before Morphling had Manta. Most importantly, that bottom lane push is what really did them in. If they didn't push bottom, if they continued farming until he has Manta, then suddenly this Orchid isn't as scary, and they don't get a chance to kill off Morphling and go into the pit the way they just did.
You know what the really scary part here is, Liz? I was going to mention TA will bounce back and VICI's on the time, or is on the clock. They just took a fight before you even got Melbash. What happens when you get Melbash on this hero that is just amped and juiced beyond all belief?
And also Hex that he's buying. Like the next item for him will be the Hex.
This is the Brawl shot.
The Manta won't even save you any longer once that is up.
They just death ball onto this tower. Mumiana, they're trying to pop his borrowed time, but it's not going to work. They get the town back.
They take the tier 3 now. The shrines are open. You can go take that out. They instantly go towards the bottom shrine. Not as important as the top one, as it doesn't really it doesn't really help around Roche pit fights, but it does help with this tier 2 on the bottom lane.
That's fine for now, though. They just want the runes, right? They're like, okay, shrines would be nice, but what's the importance right now? We've taken Roche. There's no risk of that anytime soon. Wait for MB, then go again, because that's when you have the Blood Rage, Bloodlust combo that we have seen completely obliterate members of VICI. Definitely the bane to their existence. And if you are VICI, what are you looking towards here? Because I feel like a disarm would be a godsend if you could get it on one of your heroes.
A disarm for this TA would be really good, some sort of a halberd. That's also one issue that they've got on this team, right?
They don't have a good builder, right?
They don't have a utility builder at all. That's why I was expecting SF to go for such a build. Some Greaves, you know, something that will keep them strong in the mid-game. And they did have a decent mid-game phase. However, later on, you have no saves for this Morphling. It's also an issue of having a position for Rubik, right? He wants to build for himself. He doesn't really build those utility items, Lotuses, Glimmers, even though you can. Usually on position 4 you see these Blink Hules, Aetherlands, maybe Agnes after.
But yeah, in this type of game, they've been so fixated on Yules, Four Staffs, ways to dodging out these fights. They have no way of just diving deeper into them.
But you have many ways of stealing enemy spells, right?
This is true.
Have Rubik, you have Morphling.
Let's be honest though, Morphlings only ever turn into Shaker.
Yeah. But if you do realize that their skill set is stronger than yours, just become them.
You mean like Melbash?
Yeah.
Oh, actually, no, you don't get it, right?
Don't get it.
If you did, nah, I think he stays Shaker.
Brawl now, not only does he have the Melt Bash, he brings so much control. I mean, he doesn't have it yet, but soon. He brings so much control to the fights. He has Hex, he has Orchid. Perhaps a Bloodthorn will be his next pickup too. And this Morphling, he's not in a good place anymore. He's not that invincible Morph that turns into a Shaker and blows you up with one Totem Strike.
There's a story about how Brawl's gaming sense got turned upside down. He went from supporting MV to MV supporting him, and he's definitely delivering so far in this game. They'll clean up the shrine, and you can already see the pings coming out. VICI say, we play on this side of the map. Okay, right side is ours. At least make sure they can't assault every lane. Just buy more time. The good news for them is that Brawl, he's slow to this level 25 because they keep patrolling his 4 or 5 heroes. The bad news is that Pandas are knocking on your doors again.
Yeah.
Fissure trying to actually stop him getting reinforcements. Still has a minute left on the Aegis though, Brawl. Getting pretty low, the Fissure stun, the second one coming out. Forced up in the wrong direction. Won't get him out. Aegis has been expended. Now the Rupture is out there on the Shadow Fiend with the Silence there as well. Since the gates, Brawl would turn around. Hex coming out, trying to jump in. Echo Slam, looking good. Show you! Jumps in, man of the moment. Envy down to half HP. The BKB won't protect him. Ori hits much harder. He needs to run away. Yules interrupts the TP out by Moon Meander. They eat the cheese to keep him healthy zone, but Bloodseeker's in trouble. Xiao Yu is stunned up. In the meantime, last long enough. They can turn around after killing off Staking. They can follow up onto Envy. And the Stolen Blood right, not even needed.
Triple kill for Morphling. But that's pure... let's see if
They
can
Shaker
kill-
again.
Let's just see if they can kill Moon on the bottom lane. They are chasing
It's
him.
gonna take a while. He's got borrowed time again.
Has Yules too.
He's like, I'm not giving this gem up. Leave me alone.
He dropped the gem actually to
Oh, wow.
Try and
yeah,
hook it.
they see it though. They know. Not this time.
Let's see. Can he suicide maybe?
No. The gem's on the ground again.
He did buy quite a lot of time for this TA that does not have a buyback. It's been 120 seconds when Brawl died. Now it's 60, so that's a bit better for... that's consolation prize, I guess, for Fighting Pandas. But man, VICI Gaming just outplayed the living hell out of them on that high ground defense. It's not about... They didn't have gold advantage, they didn't have net worth advantage, they just played that defense very well. It doesn't matter how many items you've got, if you get stunned, if you get chain stunned, you're dead, especially if you have no save. And I believe Brawl had 2 opportunities to blink out of the base, but he just wanted to stay in.
He had BKB as well. There are options.
Thinking that he will be able to just use that BKB pop it once he respawns, but...
This is kind of... It's felt like the name of the game. Pandas... It almost feels like they're disrespecting the Shaker pick, like they're not acknowledging that this is their Achilles heel. Every time they fight, these Echo Slams are destroying them. With the exception of maybe, one, where the SF was nowhere nearby. But you've got to respect the SF as well. You know, he switched to right-click, he got his damage per soul. He hits like a goddamn truck.
Yeah, this SF is definitely getting their level 25 as well. -5 presence aura armor, going towards that Satanic. Butterfly Satanic AC definitely does hit hard.
However, he doesn't have buyback as a result, so... You know, this is the thing you have to look at the stage in the game. Xiao Yu, he has at least got buyback, and if there's one thing we can say, that feels like the most important one for them still.
You need the buyback on TA too, and you need to let Brawl hit his 25. Like, how long has been 24 for?
It feels like an eternity.
He's not been getting his levels at all as they're running S5, but the problem is 40-minute mark hits and you pretty much have to run S5. You can't give them the opportunity to have some pick off into high ground push.
I was about to say, give him a tome, and there it is. Most important thing is that Mel Bash. It is one of those talents that completely changes a game.
Ori just sitting up front, protected by his teammates that are lurking on the other side of the river.
Hey guys, how you doing? Look over. Oh, they tried to trap him in the double fissure. Create a little pen.
Yeah. Fissure sandwich would have been interesting to see.
Radiant's bottom shrine.
Sticking Moon in the cage, basically. Eurus, in the meantime, will move bot to take that shrine. They'd already taken the top one, so Pandas, you can see their priority positioning are near to the Roach pit because it could spawn in 15 seconds. And they've got a trap down so they know exactly when. Again,
Two Fissures.
Madden. They tried to get him in a V shape.
In a V, yeah. They
that was an ice cream cone.
Yeah. Abaddon ice cream flavor. Doesn't sound
Moon
very
flavor.
tasty.
Moon flavor sounds good.
Sounds like drugs.
I feel like he's on acid when he's trapped in there. They move in. Vogue, jump, snaking the target, going straight onto him here. Trying to bring him down, Sinister Gaze as well. He doesn't have buyback either, he's going to go down. Baden couldn't save his life. Now Brawl chasing in, Hex is going to come out, but Lich is protected. We have to move away the Glimmer Cape. Now Chain Frost bouncing around a little bit. Envy has to activate the BKB. Look to fight. Stun's coming out. Shadow Beam down to half HP, but Envy, he's taking way too much damage here. He's going to go down. He has to buy back straight away. Brawl running away with his BKB, not fighting with it as Eurus has his own BKB. Echo Slam, Xiao Yu follow up. Moon Meander blocked off from the escape. The follow-up stuns are coming out as well, but they're silenced up. They have to back away. Respect that is a fountain and you can't dive it. Xiao Yu Gets away with that Glimmer Cape. Has done so much work in this fight so far. And if you let them leave the base without getting anything in return, Pandas feel like this is a complete loss. But how do you get in? You have no BKB on Brow for 40 seconds. Roche is now spawning. VICI could not have it better.
They move back, and also tier 2 on the top lane is still standing. Actually, VICI Gaming, they did play that really well. They did get a couple of crucial pickoffs, forced the buyback from Eternal Envy, but they're showing some different approaches to the way the game should be played comes 43-45 minute mark. You expect them to at least take that tier 2, right, and pressure an objective. No, instead they go get a couple of pickoffs on their high ground, on the enemy high ground, into the Roshan pit.
And now they're not even going to Roche. They realize Pandas are going to want to fight. We don't have an Echo Slam anymore.
It's not good. It's not good to just wait for them in the pit unless you have a really good Roshan team fighting team.
Oh my! Are they going to get away with this? They might. There's going to be an axe as well. The Fissure. Sun's on the 4. The follow-up Fissure as well. They're moving in. This could be the bomb they're looking for. They jump in. Aegis Brown managed to pick it up in time. Envy's still alive for the moment. Eats the cheese. Fighting up against it. The disarm comes out to make sure that SF can't fight. The stuns on both sides. Looking towards Ogre first. He should be going down, but moves away. Buys a little bit of time. Aegis has been expended. Moon Meander runs away. Who's Brow? I don't know. None of us know him. He's not part of our team. He has buyback though. He can still be in this game. However, Moon, he doesn't. There is your entrance. 3 dead on the side of Pandas. Only 2 of them have buyback. VICI know this as well because cooldown is still 2.5 minutes until Abaddon should have buyback.
Maybe you can take a team fight without Eternal Envy, without Bloodseeker, but without Abaddon, it's going to be very difficult. TA does have the buyback, so they can defend the high ground push though. And there we go. Buyback AUI, buyback on TA as well.
On Ori. Aggressing forward, has all that stats resistance. No BKB for 20 seconds. He could be the kill. 4-star. Hex coming out as well. They need to jump on him, but they're too scared. There's a lot of stun control from the double shaker. Snaking with the BKB. He's not even putting a dent in this target right now. Has to back up. Rupture coming out, scaring them away here. Split up off the mark. The stolen Rupture on Envy. He's dying too fast. Ori holds his ground. Jump in by Zhao Yu. He's gone. Die back indeed. And now it is all on Bryle, who is running for the high hills as he got hit up by the Rupture as well, courtesy of the Axel and Rubik. And GG gets called. They know they can't hold this. VICI Gaming cruise through, taking the first game. And Pandas, it had its shining moments, Liz, but we see it time and time again. When you're relegated to a 1 carry lineup, there's no competition.
And we had just really bad
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower has fallen. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower has fallen. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is fallen. Radiant's bottom barracks are under attack. Radiant's bottom barracks is fallen. Radiant's bottom barracks is fallen. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower has fallen. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
if this game, they could very well be eliminated.
For that to happen, of course, Viking do need to pick up a point in their game. They are currently 1-0 down to Beast Coast in Game 2 right now. If you want to go and watch that over on stream, but you can. VICI are also in action against Pandas. That's basically a dead rubber is what we call it. VICI are 1-up against Pandas in that game. They've already guaranteed the top spot in the group, and Pandas can't now qualify due to the way that the system works. So, it's all on this game, Brian. It's all on this draft.
Just win.
Virtus.pro got to draft better.
Yeah.
Well, they got to pick this Abaddon and they got to put it in the 3 position.
Yes.
Right, let us not see another
solo, but that
back.
was not a solo hero.
Well, and it was particularly, the contrast was particularly evident because on the other side, Hanskin's roaming Rana really was magnificent. He was in on 26 out of 30 team kills, by far the high on his team. He was everywhere throughout that game.
And he didn't itemize for the arrow to be impactful because you're playing against a 5-position Abaddon. He just went for the Greaves on Marana, and that's a nice adjustment for these players that are very experienced on the hero that they're playing, knowing that if my kit isn't necessarily that impactful this game, why not just buy items that will make me impactful regardless of that. And the one thing about Abaddon is all the nerfs that he received to his miscoil back when he was played as a 5, they all nerfed his ability to be a support, but he got given a base armor, base movement speed, base attack speed, mana on his shield.
And suddenly he's a world-class 3.
Yeah, and it's just play him as a 3.
But you got to talk about it in the context of the player as well. And this is going to be the challenge for VP here early in the season. Is Rezo able to adapt his hero pool more toward the traditional offlane style? We know there are these heroes like Leshrac and Kunkka that are in the side lane meta now that have been played as mids in the past. We know Rezo can be successful on those. Can he have success on a hero like Abaddon?
Yeah, that's the key, isn't it? Because they're not traditional heroes that he will have played in a role in any way, shape, or form. So he's got to show us that he can do it in the offlane on an offlaner, a true, what we call a pure offlaner.
Abaddon is a mindset, I don't think he's a hero that's hard in terms of mechanical at all.
Sure, but is he not difficult to understand when to go and when not to go?
Yeah.
No, you just always go.
Yeah. Right now, it's a positioning thing.
Get in there.
The only thing you have to be concerned about on Abaddon is not getting stunned or silenced yourself so that you can't save your teammates, but also at the same time building the right items to enable your teammates. But it's all about your teammates.
But Brian, I know what Alan's saying. He's saying effectively, the way Rezo will play the Abaddon is going to be better than all of us already, right?
Yeah.
But the difference between him playing it and say, a dedicated 3 playing it, who's 33 playing it, for instance, or a universe playing is massive actually at the pro level. There's a huge gap between it, isn't there?
Yeah, there is, and that's coming from the experienced mindset of an offlaner, though, right? That's not something that's unique to Abaddon specifically. What I'm saying, he's not a difficult hero, is if you know how to be an offlaner, you'll know how to play Abaddon, from experience, right? So it's something where maybe he won't build the right item, maybe he won't be at the right place on the map. What I felt palpable of these top tier offlaners is you can just feel their presence in the game by where they are, who they're enabling, with their items, with their play, who they're countering. Like that game, the Bristleback enabled what went on mid because Abaddon was dealing with him, cutting waves, which means he couldn't be shielding the sniper, which means the sniper got ganked level 1, which really set the momentum of that lane.
Yeah.
And
we've got a propeller whirly thingy person on one side, along with a fat twin-headed thing that's also over there. And I say the twin-headed thing is not the right twin-headed thing because normally it should be a Jakiro, of course.
Well, Alliance has favored Jakiro.
But
you might get to see it.
We might get double twin heads in this. We might have 7 heads in the game.
Yeah, I like Jakiro against Shadow Demon specifically. Yeah. It just the defensive disruption ends up being almost like an alley-oop to your ice path from the other team. So
don't see it an awful lot with the Ogre though. It's usually one or the other.
More so now that Ogre is commonly shifted over into that 3 role, right? With the multicast Midas.
I'm saying if they play as a 4 or 5, you don't tend to see them side by side.
I think the most important thing that we've seen so far is actually the Shadow Demon pick by VP. I think this Shadow Demon hero, they've always been one of the better teams with it. It has such huge anti-carry potential, gives you a way to deal with BKBs, gives you a second save. VP already have 2 saves on the board. And even though the Void's no longer in, so that you're not talking about saves against the Chrono, it's still super relevant against a lot of the things that Alliance like to do.
It's funny, isn't it? Virtus.pro ban the Rubik, Alliance ban the Void.
Sure.
It's kind of weird. Just that they played them both in the last game.
Yeah, maybe they think that Rubik is a genuine counter to the Void, because this game, Virtus Pro's first pick as opposed to Alliance, so Alliance wasn't afraid to pick Void into Rubik, but maybe they only wanted Virtus Pro to have Void if they had Rubik. That kind of is something that is considered in the first round bans, like as a reactionary ban to their ban.
Yeah, you see that a lot in the draft stats. So there are a lot of like pair bans, right?
Yeah.
That if this hero gets banned, the other one's
Ban
most
Axe,
likely.
ban Mag, right? The same idea
exactly.
as that one. Against all these saves, you want to pick a lot of poke, a lot of heroes that don't require heavy commitment to do the damage that they want.
So
to
I know they've got the gyro, but there was also the possibility that the Shaker Morphling could have come out.
That is absolutely possible.
This
but
Leshrac ban,
yeah,
they're thinking about
Except
PL.
for the fact that the Shaker's now banned.
yeah.
They are thinking about PL is VP.
Okay.
I know. I mean, Leshrac. There's plenty of reason to ban Leshrac anyway, but I bet you that.
Dire team ban.
Be custom names for all the Morphling shifts. So
There is,
he should
right?
become Max,
Max sounds good.
Momni Knight,
Momni Knight, Meepo.
Meepo.
Right. Omni Knight also banned out. There we go. Some more of these heroes that bring a lot of sustain are removed from the equation.
I think
Perhaps something
Omni opens up like just almost cheese lineups as well, right? Like we saw how powerful it was in TNC's hands yesterday, and it's if you get someone like Leshrac or OD, these unkillable heroes that just dominate the fights in the early 20 minutes.
Yeah, heroes like Omni Knight definitely do that. You have Heavenly Grace, and something very similar is Abaddon, right? If you get the Abaddon in there, you have the Aphotic Shield, you have your ulti. We did see Abaddon in that last game, and Moon Meander, man, he did so much for Fighting Pandas. He pretty much allowed them to have that mid-game advantage because they could not go through Moon Meander fast enough, and if you don't take him out, he just saves his allies. Once he died on that fight around the Iron base.
Yeah, the mid lane where he was too far away from.
Exactly, he was just manning up all alone for some reason, forgot to go back, I suppose. They killed him off, and if he falls at the beginning of the fight, everything shatters. Maybe that Abaddon is a good ban, perhaps a Void too, but still in the pool. Shadow Demon.
Yeah, Void, Legion, all these kind of typical picks are left open because the Night Stalker is out of the equation as well.
Yeah, Abaddon, the one that we talked the most about,
that.
is banned out, but Kunkka snatched by Fighting Pandas, and we saw VICI Gaming and just how much they can do with this Kunkka yesterday.
As a 4 as well.
Yeah, let's see how much Fighting Pandas can do. And look at this. I love this and I hate this at the same time from VICI Gaming. Void is definitely... This hero has proven to be one of the strongest carries in the current patch, like at least right now. People haven't figured him out. Shadow Demon is one of the ways to deal with the Void, right? As you can use that disruption.
Yes.
When
It just
you
feels
kill
like they're
someone.
protecting their draft by picking a counter to it.
At the same time, it's decent versus Kunkka because you can mess up his combo, but Kunkka, historically, has been considered a counter to Void, a little bit at least. You have that X marks the spot so he can Void walk away, and also you have Ram in the Chronosphere, so we'll see just how well VICI Gaming will be able to execute this Void strategy versus a Kunkka.
Probably MV also just talking the draft saying, owie, I almost died when I chronoed a Leshrac. So if we pick the Leshrac, there's no chance that they chrono us early on. And they do ban out the Mirana, makes sense. If you're worried about VICI just rolling over you, because they're playing confidence right now and they're getting all these meta picks, the worst thing you could do if you're Pandas is let them get Shadow Demon, Mirana, Void.
Definitely. Shadow Demon plus Mirana, we saw that yesterday. We saw that combination played by Alliance, I believe, and they just crushed with it. So VICI Gaming, so Fighting Pandas actually just gets rid of Mirana. So VICI do not have that chance, not have that opportunity.
They do actually ban out the Lycan and Response. This feels like one of those stealthy picks that catch you by surprise. When we do see it, it tends to just barrel out of control, I want to say.
10 seconds remaining.
The problem with right now, if you look at VICI Gaming, they already have one big cooldown, right, with that Chronosphere from Faceless Void, and Lycan just steps up the tempo so much, so hard that by the time you have items on Void and you're ready to fight, you've already lost all objectives to a Lycan. So also FightingPandas, they love to play that hero, and it's a good thing that VICI Gaming have banned out. Together with the Gyrocopter, they're getting rid of these big carries that Envy might play.
Especially like the Lycan it's kind of become the cheese pick for high-ranked pub games for a while, right? Like you just ran down mid, you rushed the Nags with your Helm of Dominator, and you took the base by like 20-25.
It's crazy, like Necros, Dominator, Axe. And suddenly, it's not only that you're taking the base and that you're pushing everything in, it's like you play like a tinker, no matter how weird that sounds, and you just split push, and you get so much gold out of that Axe.
There's a beautiful irony, right? One is his whole focus on his build is boots. The other one doesn't build boots at all.
Legion Commander banned out by FightingPandas, so we lost pretty much all of our big sustain offlaners. Abaddon, Omni Knight, Legion Commander are out.
And what does that really leave for you? Maybe you go for something a little bit less in the meta, falling off a little bit like Sand King could work really well for VICI. Although there's always that run buff. I always concern myself, right? Because you think about how long it takes to do all the damage from the Epicenter and the Sandstorm.
Yep.
It should be easy for Pandas to run away. So you need like an insta-kill combo, right?
Like something with low cooldown, stun on offlane isn't bad. So Sand King does come to my mind too. We'll see if VICI Gaming. They go with Alina first. A hero that's strong versus Lash. So a hero that has a good follow-up. Shadow Demon, oh my god.
Wow, they're going fast. We're getting the clockwork.
Oh.
This might be another Ori Shadow Fiend at this rate.
It was VICI Gaming that banned out this clockwork in that last game, right?
Yes.
Now they pick it up. They definitely value the hero a lot. And if you look at FightingPandas, you have Leshrac, you have Silencer. Clockwork is quite decent versus these heroes. You can, if it's a support Silencer, you can pretty much pick him off on your own. Same can be said for Leshrac.
We're just hearing from production. We're going to finish off the draft, then there'll be a quick restart on the stream to resolve some tech issues. So don't worry when the stream does go down. We're not just saying that one team wins on the draft alone. Who do you feel like win this so far? Like, I know it's a bit unfair because VICI's showing 4 and there's only 3 for Pandas.
4 versus 3 is usually favored.
But
for the people that have 4 heroes.
What Panda have as their 4th pick is possibility. So they win, right?
Opportunity, possibility, chance for a better future.
There you go.
See what FightingPandas will pick up and then I'll answer that. Right now, I definitely do like VICI Gaming's lineup quite a lot. There's synergy between their heroes. Lina played on that position 4 with Clockwork should prove to be almost impossible for Silencer to deal with, unless he gets a really good carry to paired with him. Something that doesn't suffer from hogs would probably be best bet if you're FightingPandas right. EL is still in the pool. Jug, Nikes, also options. Problematic versus Shadow Demon and Void, though.
Maybe CK? It's not bad against the Void, right? You drag him, stun him, insta-kill him.
And you're very tanky, but you're playing versus a Shadow Demon. Cut
That's
your
true.
HP. No,
but burns all your illusion army as well.
CK is alright.
I think you're right. I think like once Shadow... I expect Shadow Demon to get nerfed. I don't know about you. But I feel like after that happens, Chaos Knight's pick rate is just going to increase.
I think the second spell of Shadow Demon might be tougher.
Yes.
Soul Catcher.
It's just too good. It's pure damage, and I always call it the better Spirit Vessel, right? Like, it achieves the same goal that you're looking for with Spirit Vessel most of the time.
Wait. You say everything is a better Spirit Vessel.
No, I don't.
Ancient Apparition for you is the
It's
better
a worse
Spirit
Spirit... No, I say it's a worse Spirit Vessel.
And Shadow Demon is the better.
Yes.
Right. I see.
It's quite the conundrum, isn't it?
See, they go for the Tiny. Alright, I really like the Tiny pick. I love it, actually. It allows them to very mobile, very active in the mid game. Position 4 or mid Tiny look solid here. And Clockwork can't really deal with you, as if he bogs you in, you just toss him away.
VICI doing MB a favor.
VICI Gaming is like, listen, FightingPandas, We do not want that 0-9 Bloodseeker running at us anymore.
This is not a former TI player. We need to see more. We're going to force Envy to do something a bit different.
I mean, he did contribute to his team quite a lot in that last match with Bloodseeker, and he had a bad game, and they almost had it with him having a really bad game. Imagine what could happen if he actually has a good start with the Bloodseekers.
Especially with these heroes, right? Like, think about Kunkka, Big Cleave with Blood Rage late game, and Tiny with his Aghanim Scepter with Blood Rage. So it's a respectful ban. What will be the response? Panda are running out of time this. But they've got the next pick, so they've already got it all figured out. So the Timber ban's going to be thrown out.
VICI Gaming's turn to pick.
Round it out.
Spectre.
Okay.
Another hero that doesn't truly care too much about cogs, obviously, as you can pass right over them, but it's susceptible to a lot of harass from Lina and Clock. Let's say Lina and Clock are on the offlane. Spectre and Silencer, they can win it, but it's going to be very difficult for them. Maybe some tri-lane could help out, and VICI Gaming, what they last pick here.
Maybe do some like G-strat plans with the Tiny, right? Where you just keep tossing on a tower, tossing on the tower, milk them like that.
The problem that they have is we don't know who's mid, right? Kunkka, Lash, or Tiny. Which one of these three heroes are mid? Silencer is most... I mean...
Well, Silencer could as well, yeah.
But even Silencer could be there.
Now, you never know. Maybe return to the days of Spectre mid. It's been, what, 3 or 4 years? Used to be done a few times for the Radiance rushes.
Dazzle.
Okay,
right,
up with
like,
the tempo.
Yeah, they're like, we don't care who's mid. We're just gonna pick Dazzle and own him. Or he will be our mid Dazzle in this game. Very exciting.
All right, we're going to go to the MVP clip, and then that restart I told you about. We'll be back in just a minute. And hello, Dota TV. That's right, you didn't leave the action, no. You didn't go and support ESL and help their sponsorship numbers so that they can keep sustaining more tournaments. I'm going to sit here for 2 minutes shaming you.
Go to ESL, guys. Watch some.
Twitch.tv/ESL_join Dota Blue, where you can see an offline screen for 2 minutes before we're back.
But we're back in a second.
Dude, look at Conehead. Sansa looks like Conehead. You've seen that movie, right?
KKK?
No. Or Jesus. Conehead. Look at Conehead.
I'm messing with you. I know it's a Conehead. Can't be KKK. He's purple. But actually, those Grandmasters might have like.
I'm sorry. I don't.
Robes,
I don't
right?
see colors. Okay.
Okay.
Clearly, you do. It's true though. You know, I don't know. I imagine they all wear white because that's kind of their thing.
Yeah, but maybe some Grandmaster or something like that. You know, I watched a couple of documentaries.
He looks like he gives orders to Omni Knight. What? We're back on?
Yeah.
Hello.
Give us the screen, production man.
Yeah. Let me know that I am known. Hello, folks. Welcome back. They were even nice enough to pause.
Yeah. We're back as we're introduced into the game in which Kunkka will be on the offlane for FightingPandas. Brawl will be playing the Lash mid versus Dazzle. And we'll see a position 4 Tiny played by Snaking. On the other hand, the other side, Dazzle will be playing mid by Ori. And
Clockwork on the offlane as well.
Yes, that we have expected though. And it's going to be a very interesting match. I believe VICI Gaming, they want to answer this. They obviously want to answer the Spectre pick with a lot of early game aggression with that Dazzle pickup. They want to be just pushing and going forward as soon as possible.
They also still have scalability because you do have a Void, and also one thing we didn't quite highlight was Shadow Demon against Spectre, right?
Yeah.
That's one. That's a dream. You're like, okay, I'm going to create these illusions, and I'm going to murder someone due to Desolate. Maybe even the Spectre himself.
And you had a really good point. Void does scale fairly well. Does. And you can't neglect his late game capabilities. Team fighting and just pure damage output from him is going to be quite significant. But I'm just interested at seeing Clockwork on the offlane. That's all. Like, I'm super hyped. I don't see a lot of Clockworks played, and because of that, Zhao Yu, I'm looking at you. I'll show myself up.
Yeah, the door's right there, buddy. I'll watch the Clockwork. Because no, I'm excited as well. I don't get to see too much of this hero at the moment. I feel like when we do, it's almost always exclusively Chinese teams that run it. And
look at the fight on the bottom lane.
no, I'm looking at the Clockwork still. However, look across splitter. Shadow Demon gets caught out as he's tossed across, and DY in the middle of no man's land here will be overwhelmed. First blood to Brawl as well of all heroes.
Yeah, great start for Brawl over there as he gets his null talisman and some more regen, and it's going to be important for him to get a lot of regen versus the Dazzle.
And that's going to be 3 runes going their ways as well. First blood, 3 runes. Call it already. It's done. All right. Envy's a mastermind here. He's going to make the Spectre work. This is where you get called biased.
I don't know if you're trying to be biased or sarcastic. Or,
That's the accent, it does that.
That's what it is. It's 50-50. It's envy, right?
Yeah, that's why I love. Because I know when it comes to this game, all right, GG.bet, they're in their head office sweating right now. They're like, what are the odds? What do we place them as on this game?
Are we going to see a Hood, Envy, Pipe, maybe as well?
Envy in the Hood, Bling Dagger, Spectre. He'll build a Kaya.
Spectre.
Kaya Radiance.
On the bottom lane, Moon Meander is taking a lot of damage.
Crap ton, actually. They're blocking him off. He can't get out in time. PYW has another LSA. And he'll easily hit it and get himself a kill.
Take him down. It's a very difficult lane for him to be in alone. And at the same time, for Zhao Yu, I don't think there's any kill potential. Like, look at this lane. You're playing Silencer and Spectre. Like, where is the damage coming from? How are you even zoning this Clockwork out? How do you expect to zone it? AY, he's doing his best, but
it tickles.
It tickles pretty much. Zhao Yu did move out of the range of that range creep. Well, it was dying, so didn't get all of the experience. And meanwhile, on the other side, look at Tiny.
They're going pretty deep. Snaking has gone on a journey with this creep. Wait, is he stealing creep waves here at this point? I don't even know anymore.
He stole a creep wave, but then he moved it a bit too fast. And he basically wants to do this, and that's connected to 2 waves, right?
Yep.
So that he can deny some as well. But I don't know if this is the right thing to do, because Lina is there, and he will be zoning him out and trying to deny everything.
You do have to be careful because of this type of thing. The problem is there's no creep under tower. There you go. Throw him across now. At least get 2 hits out on him. You want to do that when the new creep wave is coming in, and then it turns into an easy kill. Meanwhile, on the lane, the real lane, not the secondary one, Moon Meander has been left alone versus 2.
He has a lot of creeps pushing in, but he might not be there to enjoy the farm.
If he gets bashed, he most definitely won't. But the farm poison comes out, and DY snatches the kill. And PYW is under the tier 1 tower, but doesn't care.
Snaking does toss him away, saves himself, he gets some experience.
I think they're going to calm down for a sec, Liz, so we can check in on the mid lane and see how things are going.
Dazzle doing fairly well, 12 CS, 10 CS on the Lash Rack. Obviously, Dazzle has a slight advantage versus most heroes on the mid lane because you can just spam them with Poison Touch and Shadow Wave as long as you have enough regen. However, on the bottom lane, we might see Snaking.
More deaths. Snaking. That's enough poison. He's dead. This is working out for VICI. They are throwing Clockwork under the bus, but they are not only killing, they're ensuring that Moon Meander stays under the bus with him.
And now when they have dominated that bottom lane, it's time for Lina to move towards top and starts pressuring this lane together with the Clockwork. Actually, I'm surprised he didn't go to catch AUI there in the cogs.
No, they can still get on top of him though. Barrier Assault. Do a lot of damage at least, if not kill him. Curse comes out, but Aoi, one final hit, bring him down, and Envy has to back away.
Yeah, they got him. I actually expected for them to cog him in the first place. This took them some more time, but still, it does work out. Snaking on the mid lane is looking.
Trees are cut down though. Ori knows, however, he doesn't respond quick enough, and the stun's going to be there. Dazzle doesn't have the shallow grave. He's at tour after all. The Brawl gets pretty low. Ori says, if I'm going down, you'll come and with me. The Fairy Fire Warfare is underway, and they should both fall. Ori first, Brawl will bottle up just in time. The poison does clip. No, 6 HP.
Oh my god, that was so close. Brawl does survive in the end. I mean, that's pretty much a play that Dazzle didn't really have to do. I think he had an option there to run back as well as Brawl was going back. However, Brawl is going now on the Shadow Demon.
Yeah, he needs to be careful. Brawl doesn't have any mana, and neither does DY. The rune is bot, and both teams should know this. Snaking is guarding it. In fact, he's like, okay, I'm going to just buy my own bottle. You're not coming down for any time soon, Lashrak.
Yeah, that's a bit problematic for Brawl, but still, having a bottle on roaming Tiny is good. Sometimes it's better to have it only when your mid doesn't buy it, right? When your mid is some hero that doesn't necessarily need the bottle, but 2 bottles are fine too.
Tiny's the type of hero that gets huge impact out of that mana pool as well. It's not in the Euros. It just feels like it's incredibly hard until you have 6 to kill off this void. However, Gonna try and do so, or at least force out a time walk.
He actually goes in.
Yeah, it's a time dilation. Look how slow Snaking is. If he gets bashed once, there it is. It's gonna be a kill.
Bash, and he gets it, yeah. It was a difficult attempt to go and use all your spells on the Void, and because of that he turns and gets a kill. So we will see Lina and Shadow Demon taking 2 bounty runes, actually 3, so 3 for 1 in the end.
Moonmiando will count his lucky stars. He's able to get across there because he was 2 against 1. Meanwhile, on top, Aoi throws out the curse. Xiao Yu needs to back off because Snaking is here as well. The dagger coming through for Envy. The toss across. 1 hit needed, and they'll share the gold. PYW, meanwhile.
There's a rotation on mid lane. Shadow Demon as
They're
well.
all here.
Can set up.
Easy setup for the LSA. And it should be an easy kill with the poison touch on top of him. Unless Brawl gets a godly stun, but he can't. They all sidestep it and kill him off.
You can see that they were hugging him from every side, plus the illusions going in for that Shadow Heal bomb. Sadly for them, the Shadow Heal bomb was still on cooldown. Shadow Wave was on cooldown, that is.
They didn't even need it. And now as a result, with the catapult, they're going to try and push in this tower. And Snaking needs to be careful. Can't get too close. They should be able to get it down to half HP with Kati.
Dire's mid's under attack.
Top lane block. He's going for Silencer. Yeah, this could be just a solo kill.
Yeah, it looks like it. There's no way to save him. He'll try and break the cogs and move away, but it's too little, too late. Meanwhile, on the bot lane, Moonmiando, again, these time dilations from Eurus just screwing him over completely, and Ori even rotates to get the kill.
Yeah, with that double damage, he takes the kill easily, and you can see the comparison between these 2 offlaners, right? On one side, you have this Kunkka who's barely even laning. On the other side, you have a Clock that's solo getting kills. He's level 5 already, having a blast on this lane. And the fact that he's solo killing and solo laning makes it possible for Lina to just rotate anywhere that she wants to. Get work done across the map.
It just feels like VICI understand the aggression they can put out with the supports better, right? Like, there is kill potential, but it is a little bit curbed if you're Pandas because you did take this silencer.
You know what I think? I think that their safe lane is incredibly weak. This dual lane that they have drafted for themselves, Spectre plus Silencer, is just a weak dual lane, and that's pretty much it. When you're playing a Spectre, usually you need something that can either sustain her all the way through, like a Warlock, something that just sits behind.
Or you just bring way more heroes to the lane and get them a few kills. However, Xiao Yu is TPing right in front of them. Avalanche will be there in time. However, look how else is here. Ori won't run in. Snaking almost died to that.
He might be.
No, one tick more was needed.
That's bottle, so he's fine.
And Panda say that is a great shrine usage. This is how we build team relationships, okay?
Yeah, you huddle
up
at shrine, you sing some songs.
Dire is under attack.
Sounds about right.
They're not drunk while doing so, as Moonmiander's not a level 6 yet. He needs to get Ghost Ship quick. That's when they can just get ultra aggressive with their ganks, right? It's kind of how Legion works, where you can start to, as the offlaner, rotate towards the mid. In fact, that seems to be one of the biggest highlights we can talk about what offlaners do in the first 10 minutes usually, right? You get 6. Axe with phase boots will even run mid.
Top lane Ori is left behind on his own, but he has sticks, he has Shadow Wave.
So guys, here's the reinforcements. Disruption, LSA. Well, MV, Brawl felt this already, and now it's your turn. They'll chase him down, they'll be able to finish him off. Moonmiander needs to be careful because he's next on the hit list. Might be double meal for Ori. However, Snaking moves in. Avalanche toss under the tower. Torrent is there. The beautiful combo timing. Kunkka still goes down, but Dazzle will die in response.
-2.
And PYW just about manages to TP out alive.
Xiao Yu, he's rotating in. He has that hookshot to work with, so he could take down AUI, especially now when Snaking TP.
Oh, hits the creeps. It's close enough, though. Now he questioning where the hell his teammates just get. Well,
reporting in.
A little bit too late to come back save him, maybe. No, the Torrent keeps him alive. X will drag him away from Aoi, and Aoi is about to get even smarter, as if the genius himself needs more.
-2, there we go. 6 intelligence stolen for AUI. Pretty good.
Very calculated.
Yeah, I mean, that stun, it didn't connect on to Silencer, and because of that, he misses the kill. If it connects, he has enough damage to take him down before the teammates come in. He didn't have vision on him, so that was a problem, I guess, too.
That's one of the things why some teams maybe don't like the clockwork as much at the moment, because it is a hard commitment type hero. It's not like a Beastmaster that primal rules from far, and you can walk away if it goes wrong. Once you're in with the hook shot, you're in for a penny, in for a pound.
Yeah, bottom one.
Moving on the bot. PYW should be an easy cleanup. LSA to try and make sure that Envy doesn't get the kill, but he'll still get that final hit.
Yeah. It's decent for Envy to join these skirmishes early on like this to get a couple of kills.
The skirmishing on the mid, by the way. Eurus is here with the Chrono. They know where Moon's going to go back to here. He comes in with the boat just to try and clear out the creeps. They're going to banish him, though, to try and stop him from being sent back. He will get out in time, though.
But they are sending 4 heroes on this mid lane. Dazzle,
Moving in, Eurus, he wanted it. They're a little bit too far away, and Clockwork spots that out with the flare. Still need to respect the Chrono. They just desperately want this tower. They've got the catapult coming in as well.
They have everyone here right now. It's not even only the Chrono, it's the Clockwork that rotates in. But
And
my question is, who's farming? Well, this
Envy is.
Envy is, but no one from the side of VICI Gaming. However,
Xiaoyu catches him out with a hook shot. And that'll secure the push for the tier 1 mid. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, they trade. Envy does continue to farm up. Net worth-wise, not looking too shabby on this Spectre. It's actually Brawl who is topping everyone in the net worth chart right now, though.
this trade, bottom tier 1 for mid tier 1, definitely benefits VICI Gaming more. However, they wasted so much time on their cores around there that Void just wasn't farming. He does have that Midas completed, he just needs the courier to send it to him.
It took him like an extra minute and a half to actually get the remaining gold. Like, he was at 1,600.
Yeah, and it's not a bad timing.
No, it just went from a really, really good timing to a kind of
solid.
average or subpar.
11 minutes mark with the power threads, it's all right. Especially if you consider just how hard they shut down Moon Meander on that bottom lane. Moon is struggling quite hard in this game as he has one bracer in phases.
If only he had 2 braces right now.
2 bracers are the dream. That's what you aim for.
Well, he's going to be dreaming of a big kill here as their smoke rotating towards top on Eurus, but his carry senses are tingling. Something's not right around here. And that's why DY is here to protect him if need be. Now he has vision.
They have Global Silence as well to work with.
Snaking, coming in with the haste. Torrent, connect with the 2. Avalanche full up, looking good as well. Global Silence going to be used. Now the boat coming through, maybe a little bit too late. They'll drag back onto 1, but Void, he's still alive. Disruption just in case will protect him. The Purge comes out, and now Moon Meander's the one in trouble, as he will forfeit his life along with their big Global Silence.
They do take down mid-tier 1, so that's something. Leshrac, Braille, he wasn't there to dish out that extra amount of damage that was necessary to take down Void because he was taking down the mid-tier 1. So an objective taken nonetheless, and yeah, Global was used, some big spells committed, but overall a fair trade, I think, for FightingPandas.
Oh, Snaking dying won't be so good. Hookshot catches him out, pushes him back into the river, and with the poison touch on top of him, death is an inevitability.
Xiaoyu really played that well. He hooks and then cogs him away from himself, pushes him towards Dazzle, basically cogging him away. Firstly, he takes his mana. Second, it prevents him from tossing Clockwork out. So
Thirdly, he takes his life.
You can't cog the Tiny in.
No, it's just like, get the hell away from me, see you later. You want to get those double cogs between him. And now look at Xiaoyu, he's going for that Spirit Vessel Rush. It's perfect in this type of game as well.
It's such a good item for Clockwork, right? It also gives you that Vitality booster, which boosts your HP, boosts your Vitality. Name says, and as a Clockwork, you get a lot of charges because you're very active. You need to be very active across the map. And so far, he has done exactly that. 3 kills, 3 deaths, 3 assists.
Definitely making some good plays from them so far. And PYW is getting ever close to that Aether Lens being complete. At which stage, this Clockwork doesn't have to kind of do these awkward cogs sometimes. He's just setting up every time for the Lina.
Look at Dire, they're taking this Radiant side of the map really well.
The stacks.
The stacks, this is the second time they've taken them. However, Envy has to be really careful about his farming patterns. If your whole team is in the Radiant jungle and you don't see anyone from VICI Gaming there, that means that they're around top. However, Spectre is a difficult kill for them to take at the moment.
No, and Eurus is going to be elsewhere farming. He's still holding that Chrono. He's going for the Maelstrom next, so nothing out of the ordinary for the Void. They have got DY just shoving out the most dangerous lane, as you can easily do with the Shadow Poison. But there's definitely a fixation for Pandas to try and find pickoffs and just try and slow down the farm by invading the Radiant jungle in this game. And of course, that leaves the entire Dire jungle to Envy.
He's having a blast. Envy 2.5k net worth moving towards the Radiance. This Radiance is really good in the current match because versus Void it's amazing, versus Lina, Shadow Demon and Dazzle more than so because you just make them run. Dazzle is good when it comes to sustain, but these supports are a bit on a squishier side. I think it's on VICI Gaming to get as much sustain as possible, as fast as possible, And then once that haunt is popped, keep calm and just heal up through it. Stick together, heal up through it so that the Desolate doesn't take you out as well.
Keep calm and heal up. Good advice. There is a lot of anarchy that Pandas have though, right? The Shrek, all that AoE.
Spectre, Envy.
Well, I was about to say the Horn, but it's not good if you can't get it. He's going to actually escape towards the Shadow Demon. DUI will stand his ground though, because that's right on top of a shrine. He couldn't get the Purge, but he won't get the second poison either. So Envy limps away, barely alive.
He actually will survive through all of this. That one Shadow Poison
The hunting.
will take him down.
They got the Rocket Flare for Aoi. He scouts it out. Wasn't needed at that point, but he was just trying to escape.
Kunkka is around too. Moon Meander might be scouted
Poison?
out. Oh,
No, it didn't clip him.
it didn't clip him. Moves to the right and TPs away. And it's really important for EE to have survived that. As remember, he is building towards that Radiance. That right there could have crippled him. Then again, Shadow Demon, he was so close at using that Purge.
Yeah, you saw him. He was mid wind up. He's like, I'm going for the dunk, and nope.
Lost vision.
Someone
That's all.
tapped his elbow. He dropped the ball.
It's good for Envy to react so fast too. Like so many players on that mid lane would think twice about using ulti to escape. Mid lane,
It's a
Ori.
gamble, sure. Boat coming in. Ori a little bit out of position. Will pay a price for it. Global Silence, and DY can't save his life now.
Really good follow-up by the Global. You have to itemize against it too. Dazzle, it will be a little bit easier for Ori once he gets that Guardian Greaves up.
Yeah, that's why it was a perfect gank time. Just short when he had it. And I'd like that they throw out the Global Silence like that, because you don't have the Haunt anymore, right? So you don't have that maximum impact from the two together.
Yeah, you don't have the Haunt and you don't pretty much have the damage to make these pickoffs unless you're going on them with the Global Silence.
Yeah, and you're going to get to the stage probably next time, actually. They'll probably have the Radiance for the next Haunt fight, and they'll have the Global Silence. At that stage, it's pure anarchy for VICI.
Maybe they won't have it for the next fight because it's VICI on the smoke and they're hunting. Faceless Void leading the charge and he has that Chronosphere to work with, so this is a pretty good idea that they've got, and Spectre would be pretty much the perfect kill for them.
They're eyeing it up. With him right now, Envy. Are those senses tingling? Probably, but the hook shot is there and it's a little bit too late. They'll jump him right now. They need to actually get in so they can go for the opportunity to bash him up, and he's just dead.
Not even Chrono was used.
No. He thought about it for a second. He's like, wait, we have a Spirit Vessel. What do we care about this guy anymore?
That's what's so amazing. By the way, Clockwork going towards Aghanim's next, so he wants to be hooking all the time. I expected them to get perhaps some pipe on someone, but no.
Probably Dazzle, right?
He's going for Midas, which is very interesting. Midas on Dazzle used to be picked up all the time when he got bad Juju initially, because it would just allow you to get so much farm early on. However,
Still can for this bear right now. Moon Meander in a bit of trouble. The cogs are on him. The bow is coming in though. Spirit Vessel's hurting a little bit, gets him down to half HP now. Maybe there's a turnaround. Done. Is whiffed, but Moon Meander survives.
I think it's cool that he... I'm not the biggest fan of Midas right now overall as an item, but I think it's fine on Dazzle because you have, what, cooldown reduction of 38%?
Yeah, you go to level 2. It's also, you're worried that you're creating a single core lineup and you fall off, while when you look on the side of Pandas, they have Leshrac and Spectre. Speaking of Leshrac.
And you still have Greaves, right? So
Yeah, they might make a move top. Look at this. They'd have the damage to kill off Euros here.
+1 perhaps. Spectre does have that Haunt and Relic.
Jump in, Avalanche, toss. There's a jump in with the Haunt and the Global Silence just to make sure he's dead.
He was dead though, right?
I think so. I think that Global Silence was like as he fell to the ground dead.
Yeah, he was pretty much dead, but the Global Silence to make like things sure.
Like, I'm not going to use this in the next 2 minutes. Let me just press this button.
Exactly. If you already use that Haunt, you probably won't be using Global anyway, so it's still a good play by Aoi. But realistically, you could have saved that Global.
Yes. You're just thinking, where does VICI want to fight?
Missed hook.
Look shot, just a bit off the mark. But Aoi, he walks close enough for the Poison Touch. However, the Cogs should stop the chase. They're still running. They won't dive
VICI
too
Gaming
deep.
just missed everything they could there.
Hey, they didn't miss a chrono yet, okay?
They missed LSA, they missed hookshot, then they missed the cogs. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but AUI is like, all right, I guess I'll live this time.
He's just checking his pulse right now. Am I alive? I am. It must be this brace Ray built. Still needs to get himself another one. Then maybe another one. Snaking, however, is going for that 4-star. Definitely the perfect game for it, right, against the Clockwork.
4-staff is amazing for them this game. it's definitely an item that they should pick up.
It's hard not to bait yourself into going like the right-click Tiny as well, right? Like you got your blink, like I could go for an Echo Save, I could go for an Ags, but that's not what you're about. It's all about the Spectre and the Shrek. And
yeah, when you have Spectre Lash, you don't truly have to, as a position for Tiny, just bring utility and mobility to your teammates. That's good enough.
Purge, DUI, went pretty deep. The Silence going to hit onto him now, trying to move in. He can't get the Chrono. No, the Yule stops him from being able to do so. Split out follow-up. Time dilation now, but he's dying. Disruption saves his life for the moment. Envy has gone deep on this. Nice light strike array, but he needs to move away. Thinks about going in for the Chrono again, and he will. But Tiny, they blow everything on him. Moving across now onto Envy. Going to get him low enough maybe to bring him down, but the extracted back. LSA connects on the 2. Kuka, he still hasn't used the bow just yet. Pipe to try and keep Envy healthy, but he's running low on HP. In the meantime, they'll bring down Shadow Demon. They will still lose Envy. How can they make them pay for this, though? Bow into Void. Has the Time Walk. Shallow Grave to protect, but the Split Earth is stunning him up. He'll finally move away, but they're still on top of him. Chasing him. Braille has got the damage to bring him down. Hookshot is there. Saves the day. Xiao Yu, turnaround with the LSA should be good enough to bring them down. And Xiao Yu clutches it for his team in the last second and ensures it's a team wipe for Pandas.
Man, sustain, sustain, sustain. That's what VICI Gaming is all about. That's what this meta is all about. And that's the reason why Void survives. He played that really cautiously, like really well. The way he moves back, uses that Chrono, because Shadow Demon saves him, right? Shadow saves as well are very important at the moment. Disruption on the Void, he moves back, he uses that Chrono on Spectre, Envy dies, then they chase the Void. I think then they chase the Void, use the boat, use the Torrent, but there's a Grave from Dazzle, allows him to Void Walk. Then there's another Greaves from Dazzle, another heal from Dazzle, 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 like he just won them that team fight. But I just have to say, I'm curious why Moon didn't use that boat a little bit earlier.
Yes.
Like at the beginning of